Hello everybody, this is Al Stash and welcome back to Uptown Villa Park. We are here after Groundhog Day, and Groundhog Day was yesterday as we're taping this show on the 3rd, Wednesday. But the groundhog did not, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow, so that means spring is coming quick. And we thought we would bring somebody that's going to help us work through spring as a guest today. We have Angie Rojek from Pioneer Garden and Feed, and we'll introduce her in a second. But I want to introduce my co-host here today. There he is. Dennis, how are you?
Good morning. How are you, Al?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Very good.
What's new in your life since we were last on?
Oh, not much. Same old stuff. I got another great-grandchild on the way.
Really? What month?
It'll be in June.
And how many is this for you going to be?
Great-grandkids will be 9.
9?
We
And how many
have
grandchildren?
9 grandkids.
9 and 9.
9 and 9.
Even number.
And how many you have now? How many grandkids do you have now?
I have 8.
8.
We just had last week and a half ago, Oliver Finn is his name.
Okay.
Oliver Finn, and Oliver Finn is 7 pounds 12 ounces. My daughter Cheryl up in Pennsylvania had a little bit of a scare because just before he was born in Pennsylvania, he got 30 inches of snow, and she was having natural birth. So there was no schedule for her, and if the snowstorm got that high and she had to go to the hospital, it would have been an issue. But everything worked out fine. She's doing well. She's back home.
Did you get up there at all?
Not yet. We're about to. We had, life is a circle of things. And just yesterday I was at a funeral
Yeah. Who's
for
your mother-in-law?
my mother-in-law, Doris Abel. And so we lost our mother-in-law but gained a grandchild. And so it's bittersweet, but life is a circle, as I said. You gotta take what you can get and be happy and enjoy life.
So I understand we had a busy town
Yes.
this past week.
Yes.
Well, you had a couple bad fires. Tell me about the fires.
Well, first of all, there was one on Sunset near, let's see, it would be Westmore, Sunset and Westmore. It was a house that was occupied, actually, but it started in the basement, and it was a significant fire. If you go to tvvpstyle.com and look for the photos, you'll see a whole gallery of photos and some video of the work that the firefighters did. There were many different departments there. That fire, I think they pretty much got settled. Just yesterday, Groundhog Day night, there was a fire on Plymouth and Villa in Villa Park on an unoccupied residence, another residential fire. And that went on into the evening with fire investigations. That's under investigation. And then this morning, as I'm coming into the studio to get everything set up, I noticed that Harvard Avenue had a little bit of black ice going on over there. And I was slipping and sliding in the van to make the turn onto Home Avenue. Not 20 minutes later, unfortunately, a young lady spun out, hit the guy wire on a utility pole, hit a tree, spun out some more, and got close to a residence on Harvard. And she was transported to the hospital. Knock on wood, she's doing fine. But busy time in terms of fire department activity, but there's more going on here that you wanted to talk about in terms of some drug problems.
But I guess he had a bad crop of drugs. Elmhurst but DuPage County in general, I guess last year, DuPage County had over 40 ODs.
That's terrible. That's really bad. Yeah.
ODs and heroin. And I think we're going to have somebody come on the air and talk to us. What do the parents do if they know the kids are playing with drugs?
Yeah.
I know my kids don't do it. My kids, all the kids in the area are doing it nowadays.
Yeah.
It's not just the kids from the city. It's the kids out here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons. I know we've, in the past, you and Sid has talked to Deb Conroy, who is the Illinois State Rep, who has been working on a task force related to heroin overdose situation statewide, worldwide. It's actually worldwide.
DuPage County is getting hit because the money's here. And the kids that afford it, they can afford to go to Chicago and back.
Yeah.
And I'm not no expert on it at all. And then before I say too much about it, I'm going to bring somebody on who can tell us about it.
Yeah.
It'll be in the next couple of weeks we'll get them on here.
Yeah, in the process of doing some conferences and get-togethers related to the drug overdose situation, Deb Conroy asked me to go to a rehabilitation site in Addison called Serenity House, and I interviewed 13 recovering heroin addicts.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you'd look at them across the table, you'd say, well, that's my nephew. That's my son.
Kids in town, yeah.
That's my daughter. That's my
Right.
sister-in-law's friend. And they don't all start from, hey, I want to do something bad and terrible. Some of them start because they got an injury in a sport. And they started taking morphine-based drugs like Vicodin and others that they're prescribed, and they get addicted. And then they start finding more of those pills, and then they start saying, well, the pills are too hard to find. It's actually cheaper to buy heroin on the street. And then they have this situation where they overdose.
You think it's a new situation in town. It isn't.
No.
Back in 1973 and 75, we used to have an organization, Villa Park JCs.
Yeah.
The JCs used to go to schools and talk about drugs. And we'd
Yeah.
talk to the kids about drugs. And, what do you guys know about it? And the kids would look around and they didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But they put their hand up and say, well, we know how to do it.
Yeah.
What do you mean you know how to do them? Well, we could take drugs off the store, drugstore, open them up and take certain color pills out, use them,
Yeah.
get high.
Yeah.
We ended up putting kids in detox centers. The JCs did at that time.
Yeah.
This was back in the 70s. But now it's, these kids are more educated than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do more stuff now.
Yeah.
But they need help.
Yeah.
And mom and dad said, oh, not my kids, they won't get involved.
Yeah.
But
It's got to be proactive. You
it's
got to
your
actually
kids.
act like they are doing it.
It's your kids.
Try to help
You got to ask them.
Yeah.
So that's why we get somebody to come in and talk to us and tell us what we can do to the kids be
Yeah.
a little bit smarter than they are.
Yeah.
You got a couple of kids coming up yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll learn about her family, but
Yeah.
not on that platform. We'll talk about other things. But there's a lot going on in town.
Yes.
Pastor Steve Swanson from the St. Paul's Lutheran Church here in Villa
Yeah,
Park on
yeah.
Ardmore. Dan Kraus from the Willowbrook High School principal. Scott Helton, the superintendent of District 88, because of Addison Trail in Willowbrook. They've all been conducting training and support groups for our high school students. In fact, high school students have been helping drive that information. And it's not getting better yet, but
Not at all.
we got to keep going.
That's right.
Yeah,
So let's get back to our guest today.
let's do that.
Okay.
Angie Rojek is here from Pioneer Garden and Feed. And first of all, how long has Pioneer Garden and Feed been in your family?
In my family, not quite a year.
Almost a year.
Right, we purchased it. We closed on the building on April 8th, 2015.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And your family includes you, yourself, and your two sons, right?
Correct. Yes, me, my husband Tony, and then I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old.
And that place called Pioneer Garden and Feed is pictured on the monitor now. That's your design here for the holiday season, right?
Right. Yep. Yep.
Yours
Just-
and one of your employees?
Correct. Yes, Bill Cargis, who everyone is very happy that he has stayed on with us.
Yeah.
He has worked at Pioneer for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And he is generally the designer and whatnot of all the store windows and stuff that you see.
Okay, okay.
So Pioneer has been there, we just took it over a year ago, but it's been there since 1918.
Wow.
And from what we were told when we purchased it, it's the oldest business in DuPage County
County.
in the same location.
That's right.
In
And one of the
DuPage
original
County.
members of the Chamber of Commerce. Yes, it was.
Yep.
And it's a pioneer at the beginning that helped the fire department get going too.
It did? I
Yes,
didn't
it
know
did.
that part of it.
Yeah, and the pump store across the street was part of it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice, nice. And here's a
Cool.
picture that we got from your website
Yep.
showing Pioneer Feed, and it's got some silos there.
Yep. So when Pioneer first started, from what I understand, I'm not a historian, but so Villa Park was all farmland, and Pioneer is where everyone went to feed their chickens, cows, whatever. So if you go in the building, and anyone is always welcome to ask me, and I'll give you the tour of the building.
The tour of the back,
The
right?
tour of the back, because
Yeah.
it's pretty neat. So you can see on the second floor, it's built with these massive metal beams because the feed was upstairs.
Okay.
And they milled it and then sent it down these chutes, which the chutes are still there. There's holes in the floor where you
Yeah.
can see, and then the chutes come down. And so everyone went there to get their feed.
And there was a conveyor going up
There is, and it
to the
still
second
works,
floor with
yes.
that door that's on the west end, right?
Correct. Yes, we still
That
use
has no
the
stairs.
conveyor. Right. Yes, we had to cover the door. for insurance purposes. But we do still use the conveyor to bring stuff up to the second floor.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the group of people that are involved with your store. And here I'm putting up a family picture that came from your website.
Sure,
right?
yes.
Tell us who's in the picture.
So that's me, and then my husband is Tony. We've been married for almost 18 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then Ethan is the taller one with the glasses. He is at Willowbrook. He's a sophomore. And then Carter is 12, and he's a sixth
working
grader.
in the store yet?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, they come in and help. And we told them, so when we bought the store, like I said, it was in April.
Yeah.
Who would be crazy enough to buy a garden store in April? I mean, it was crazy from the second we bought it. And we kind of told them, okay, this is our third baby now. So we need to give it a lot of attention. And they've been really great about it and very understanding. And they come in and help us work.
Well, there's another person that is involved with your store, and we mentioned him briefly a moment ago, and there he is talking to some Girl Scouts, right?
Yep.
Who is that?
So that's Bill Cargis. Like I said, worked there 40 plus years. He started there. So Ron Leston is who we bought the store from. Ron's father ran the store since the 60s. Bill, in the picture, worked for Ron's father and then worked for Ron, and is just an incredible wealth of knowledge.
If you have any question about gardening of anything, he knows the answer.
He knows it.
He
It's
knows
true.
the answer. You
Well-
can never trip him up.
Am I right? Ron has specialized training in botany, right?
Bill, yes.
Bill.
Bill
I'm
has,
sorry, Bill.
he's a botanist. He went to
Okay.
college and he does have his botany degree.
So he is the guy that can tell you the chemical composition
Everything.
of soil,
Everything.
the
Correct.
pests that are eating
Yes.
up your plants.
We constantly have bags of, Ziploc bags of leaves that people bring in with what's
What
this
kind of tree-
disease,
what
what's
kind of
this
tree?
bug,
Yeah.
yes, what kind of tree is this, what kind of
Yes.
plant is this? They come in all the time with their phones to show us pictures. So and now we're starting to, I mean, I was a gardener before we bought the store, but now just being around him, you just learn
Yeah, no,
so
he's
much.
great.
And so everybody kind of knows that he's the guy to go to
Yeah.
ask all those questions.
Well, I have been a customer in your store since you've been the owner, and certainly when Bill and Ron were there, I was there frequently, having lived here for a number of years. You've been a customer there quite a bit, huh?
A couple times.
Couple times?
Couple times. And they're also very active over there on the Villa Avenue Business Associations, aren't you? And what are they doing over there?
It's got a name, too. Tell us what the name is.
Old Town Villa Avenue,
Yeah.
and it's kind of had a resurgence as
Yes, it
of late. They are going to have some community things. We did trick-or-treating this past
For
fall.
Halloween, right?
For Halloween, which I guess they had done it before, and then it
Yeah.
hadn't been done for
Right.
a couple years, and
Right.
now
Yeah, it
everyone's
came
kind
back
of
again,
coming
yeah.
back together.
It needed new leadership. That's what happened. Yeah.
Correct. So
Yeah.
a bunch of the people that own the businesses now in Villa
Mm-hmm.
have been getting together for meetings and coming up with some fun things that we're going
That's
to do
good.
on Villa.
And one of those people is the Celtic music
Correct,
store.
Gail.
Gail.
Yes, over at Old Rampant.
Old Rampart Lion.
Right.
There we go.
Rampant
I
Lion,
keep.
yes.
Thank you. You got me the one word that I needed.
Even
But-
Mahoney's Bar is involved in that one, too.
Yeah,
And,
Mahoney's.
and Michael Anthony Pizza
Michael
Place.
Anthony,
Everyone kind of
yeah.
over there.
got
Mike's
involved.
Meat Market. Everyone's the Cornerstone
includes the shopping
Books.
center, right,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, because over there that's included too. And so everyone's been coming together and trying to
Right.
think of ways
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to bring people down to Villa
Yeah,
again.
new young people coming into the area over there, new young owners.
Right.
Mike's is new, Mahoney's is new.
Right. Right.
Michael Anthony is new people. The
Yeah.
insurance company is brand new over there now.
Right. In
Yeah,
the
they
old
just
bank
They're,
opened.
building.
they're going to be very active in town.
And on the corner there, right by the Prairie Path, there's a new alcohol support group that went in where the coffee shop was,
Okay.
on the far, far end.
Oh,
all the
Couch
way-
Clarity?
Couch
Right,
Clarity, right. And they're
What do
there.
they do?
They're there to provide counseling for people with addiction problems.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I know of them so far.
Yeah.
We haven't talked to them
No,
briefly
that's
together.
you know,
But
And then also there's the new workout place
over
Right
next,
on-
next to
Yes.
Mike's
where the
Meat-
antique store was.
training for warriors, Jason.
next to
Yeah.
Mike's
Yeah.
Meat Market.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Mike just took a big addition on too. Now he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
making his store bigger.
Yeah, Mike's Meat Market, Dave Casey, took over the
He was on the show here.
tanning salon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not actually going to be in addition to the store, it's in addition to the back
It's going to
table.
give them
Storage.
more room
Yeah,
in the back.
the butchers and
He took over the tanning restaurant so he can have hot meals.
oh, and then he put a
And look good while he's making them.
and then he put a freezer in there. But yeah, there's a lot going on Villa Avenue. But
Yes,
let's
there
get
is.
back to Pioneer Garden and
Sure.
Feed, because this time of year, one of the things that I came in for most recently was a bird feeder.
Right, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
and that's what a lot of people put in their backyards.
Right.
This one is one of those. If you can see the bottom half, that little cone there, that's to keep off the squirrels.
The squirrel baffle, very popular at Pioneer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different varieties. I got the one that looks like a little house
Okay.
that's got a hanging thing that you showed me in the store. And I put it out there, and you have the mix of bird feed, but you also have specialty feeds like for different types of birds.
Correct, yes.
Now, the one you got up, go back to the picture.
Okay.
The one you got up there now, was that the pole next to it, standing up there?
Uh-huh.
Well, the squirrel can get up that way, can't they?
Yeah, but that's why the baffle is on the bottom, to stop them.
And you know, I have to tell you, I put up my feeder, and I actually put it on a pole. And it's a PVC pole. It's a plastic pole. And it's up about 8 feet. And I then looked out my window and watched the squirrel climb up that
Climb
pole.
up. Uh-huh, of course.
But he got to the feeder, and the feeder mechanism is where the birds would rest on the edge to, feed off the
Feed 'em, yeah.
seeds. That's weighted. So if he or she gets on it, it closes
Closes
the,
the
the
door.
seat.
Yeah.
And the first time he got on there, he was like trying to figure out how to get the seed out, and then he got frustrated and just fell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it works.
Yes.
I can guarantee it works.
Yes.
And I'm very happy with it, and it gives me a chance. We're going to actually use that to get more footage of what's in and around the village, because there's lots of varmints crawling around. I use the southern
yeah.
term of animals in the neighborhood. So,
Oh, for sure.
and we showed a picture of how to prevent squirrels, but a lot of people love squirrels, and you've got feed for squirrels.
I was going to say, it's funny now working there, and we've always fed the birds. We're animal and nature and
Yeah.
gardening people. It's why we wanted to buy the store. I've learned that we have to be very neutral about squirrels, because it seems like every other
Maybe-
person that comes in, either they want to
Feed 'em or
get rid
kill 'em.
of them
Feed
or
or kill 'em.
feed them. Yeah.
Right.
So we have squirrel-proof feeders. We have feed for squirrels.
Right.
So kind of whichever end of the
And that
spectrum you lie
feed
on.
for squirrels, it's corn and peanuts.
Corn,
on the cob.
peanuts, yes, sunflower seeds. That's their favorite. We have a mixture. It's called Munch Mix
Right,
that the
right.
squirrels love.
Okay.
Yeah, and peanuts, lots of peanuts. We go through. There's people that buy 50 pounds of.
You can buy them in the
peanuts a
shell,
week.
and they'll take the shells off.
Yeah.
They
Let,
will.
let them do the work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then
Yeah.
we can also show you, like you said, with the baffle, there's different feeders on how to keep them
Right.
off your bird feeders.
Right. And you've got the poles to set up in the ground or hang from
All of it.
a hook
Yep.
or whatever it might
Yep.
be.
And then we can also tell you what kind of feeder, depending on what kind of bird you're trying to attract.
And the feed.
And the
seed
feed,
itself.
exactly. Because a lot of people like cardinals.
Yeah. Right.
You have to have enough of a perch for the cardinal to land on. They have big feet,
Yeah.
so you need something for them to really be able to stand on and
Right.
eat. And a lot of people don't know that. They think you just
See?
put feet out and anyone's going to
This is
come.
the only
birds will
show
come.
in Villa Park, folks. You can learn about the birds and the bees.
That's true. And let's talk about good. Wow, what a segue.
What a segue.
Let's talk about bees.
Yes.
Because you got a different product there. In fact, a kind of a specialty product from a local beekeeper, right?
Correct.
Tell
Yes.
us about that.
Jeff Leader, he's our beekeeper in Naperville, and he has started supplying us with beeswax candles.
Okay.
So we've always had his, the last few years we carry his honey, and we do have the honey year round for people that don't know that, that like local honey. Very, honey has so many wonderful
Very
uses
good for colds,
and healthy,
yep.
yeah.
Yes, it
And
is.
of course it tastes delicious, but now the beeswax candles are special because if you've never used beeswax, it doesn't leave the soot
Yeah.
that candles
The
do.
carbon soot that comes off the candles.
And
yeah.
then there's some studies that are showing that beeswax actually helps clean the air.
Oh.
And I don't know the science behind that, but there's a lot of benefits to burning beeswax, and also it burns a really, really long time.
So a lot slower than just melting down a wax
Exactly.
candle.
The candles are, a little more expensive,
me
but
being-
you have them for 3, 4, 5 times as long.
Me being very cheap at heart. What does a candle like that cost?
We have little ones that are like $5.
Okay.
We have medium-sized ones, 10 to 12 bucks, depending
Okay,
on, depending on what
You
you.
know.
So those little ones in
looking
the
at.
center, 5, the big fat ones.
Yeah, ranging up to like $16, $17,
So,
depending on.
I think they're $20, but not that much at all.
No, and they burn, like I said, they burn for a really,
Very
really
good.
long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I watched or read something when I was looking at this photo, and that's the honey that the same beekeeper provides,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And it says summer or spring honey.
I think it depends on when the bees are out.
Okay, so it's either clover or dandelion or whatever.
Depending, exactly, and
Right.
when he processed the honey.
Okay. Well, you learn a lot here. I'm
Yeah.
telling You You learn a lot of
You
stuff.
learn a
that
lot
you
at
just
Pioneer.
Birds and bees, there we go.
Right, that's right.
Now,
Well-
this is a season I want to get into tomatoes. When do I start my seeds?
So you'll you'll come to Pioneer to buy your seeds, and
Of
then we'll
course.
tell you, it'll tell you on the back of the and this is a good question because a lot of people don't know this, and we do have the information on our website, and always you can come into the store and ask us about it because different vegetables need different amounts of time inside, and some vegetables just want to be planted outside. You wouldn't start them inside. So on the package, it will tell you, and tomatoes, there's a big variety because it depends if you're growing little tiny ones, it
Right.
depends if you're growing big giant ones. It'll usually say somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. Our last frost date, generally, here in the Chicagoland area, is May 10th. We say Mother's Day is when you kind of know that's when you
Put
can
'em
start
outside.
planting stuff outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just kind of backtrack from your calendar.
From the old days now, everything, nobody put anything inside, it all went outside.
And there's a lot of seeds that, like green beans, for instance, you wouldn't
Right.
start inside. You would just do them outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they grow too large too fast and you can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
But I was in the store and bought from that rack, got ready and got the little planters ready to go and looked at the map on the back that says, here's the area that you live in. So
Right.
here's your planting season or when you should start. So we still have a little bit of time, but it's a good time to start planning for it.
Yes, absolutely. And start thinking about what you want in your garden. Start thinking about, do you want flowers? Do you want vegetable? A lot of people now are leaning toward vegetables.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to, people are much more aware of what they're putting in their bodies and what they want to
Right.
feed their
The
children.
organic trade, yeah.
And so they want to start growing, and it's pretty neat because we have kids coming in now looking at all the seeds and deciding
Yeah.
what they want to
I've been
plant.
educated. That's
and
good.
then usually if the kids help plant, then generally they want to eat it. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Even though it may be something they never ate before.
That they've never tried. Yes, but
Yeah.
since they grew it, that ownership is there and they want to try it.
Well, one of the things that I see also in those racks is herbs. And, those are sometimes planters that are inside year-round.
Correct.
Or there's other ways to do it, and I'm going to find a picture of it, and that's some deck planters that you have.
Oh, sure, yeah. Herbs are very nice to have right on the deck because then you can just go out real quick and grab them. People, if you have them handy, then you're going to
Yeah.
tend to use them more.
There's the one, and it's a
Yeah.
plastic or PVC
That's what,
box that fits snugly on the handrail,
over the
right?
railing. And we do have those planters in the store. That's actually my friend Paula's deck. She let me take pictures of her beautiful herbs.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to do herbs because they're right there. People like to have them right outside their back door.
And plus, we do a show, one of your customers we started doing garden shows with up on a little bit north of you. In fact, he was at the store when you did a ribbon cutting ceremony,
Oh, okay.
and I met him, and Bob.
Oh, Bob, yes.
And
Wendorf?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, the crazy. I have to tell you this story. I'm talking to Bob Wendorf. I don't know him from Adam. Looking at him, and we get to talking. He says, "Well, why don't you come see my garden?" And he's a very nice garden. It's been on the garden walk.
He's in the garden club.
He's in the garden club. It's
Yeah.
been on the
He
garden
has a
walk
beautiful
consistently. It's been in magazines, and it's gorgeous. So I went over there, and just to get together and learn about each other. I started talking to him, and he says, "Yeah, I used to be a teacher in Bensonville." I said, "Yeah, I grew up in Bensonville." Make a long story short, he was my teacher in junior high school.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, that's so funny.
It's like, bam.
It's a small
Wow.
town.
Yeah,
Oh, how
yeah.
funny.
Be
So-
careful who you talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a great guy, and we had a good time and did a lot of things with the show. But a lot of people are into gardening here in the community because of the Men's Garden Club,
Right.
Because of your store. So it's a big
We are the
responsibility.
garden village.
Big responsibility. I mean, yeah, it's on the
The
logo.
garden club is one of the oldest ones in DuPage County
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the garden club has been very supportive of us. What I've
And in return, you to them,
and
right?
in return,
Yeah.
we try our very
Oh,
best.
yeah.
And it's funny because when we bought the store, we were like, "How's it going to go?" Because
Yeah.
they had owned it for so long. But I think people have really warmly welcomed us, and I think because we live in Villa Park,
Right,
that we're
right.
part of the community, so it's been
Yeah.
wonderful. And gardeners are friendly people,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they are.
And the other group in town that supported you, in fact, a large group of them were at your ribbon cutting, is Mama Squash. The outfit that wants to do the co-op
They're trying.
store. Well, not wants to, they're going to do. And they've been doing a great job of educating people on organic products and the capabilities that they'll have in the future.
Yeah, let's get everyone growing organic, right?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have all the stuff to do that, and the educate. We can educate people on the best way to do it.
And I used to be concerned because I would go into like a grocery store, including Jewel here in Villa Park, and I'd see organic. I go, oh God, I don't want to spend that kind of money.
Kind of money.
Now I'll go to the other side and I'll look for it, and I kept going back and forth, and finally you can't go back and forth anymore. Almost everything's organic. It's labeled that way and it's produced that way, so the industry is changing rapidly in terms of the
Well, you
way
have
we
a Whole
buy
Foods,
produce.
Whole Food close
You got
by.
Pete's Market.
Pete's over there now, and everybody else, and
Yeah.
the trend is going that way more and more.
How about you you're relocated to Downers Grove now. Did you find another good shop over there for
Yeah, we have
produce?
well, we have a very good shop in Villa Park here on North Avenue in Addison.
Yeah.
It's Villa Park Produce,
Uh-huh.
and so most people in town they call it the Mexican store,
The fresh market.
the fresh market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
place.
Great place, and you go there and you can take 2 apples or take 2 oranges if you want. You get a big
Yeah.
variety.
That's
Oh.
where we get our produce usually. I
Yeah,
like it there.
we found another place in Downers Grove, just the same thing.
Yeah,
almost same
that's
thing.
good. That's good.
We enjoy it. We go in, pick out what we want.
Yeah.
And you pick out what you. Yeah, they got all kinds of stores like that. all
And
over.
the other
Nice people too.
yeah, true. And the other stores here in town, like Jewel and Target and Walmart, which are grocery stores for everybody, they're really starting to expand, especially Jewel, really starting to expand that produce section. So a lot of
Yes.
people are thinking that way.
They're
And
going
a
back
lot
to the
and
produce.
a lot more organic stuff.
Right,
I've even noticed
right.
because we've been shopping at Aldi a lot recently,
Yeah.
and they're
They're going
really
that way,
starting
yeah.
to have a lot of organic stuff. So
It's a good thing.
It is.
And people like me, at this time of year, there goes my microphone. At this time of year, are gung ho about gardening.
yes,
Okay. Like I said, I bought
because
my
you can
planter.
kind of rest at home and think about it.
Yeah, and you got little sheets of paper that you
Yes.
wite out here. I'm going to put the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the pumpkins.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, I need Bill's help and your help because I buy the planter every year. I plant the seeds.
Yes.
And due diligence for several weeks. It looks great.
Yep.
And then because of neglect, because
Right.
of non-green thumbish.
Right.
So
Well, there's an old farmer
I
saying.
come back to Pioneer.
And buy more stuff, right?
That's right.
What we tell people, what farmers used to always say is you plant 3 of everything.
Yeah.
So 1 is for the bugs,
Yeah.
1 is for the diseases, and 1 is for you. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I end up coming back not only to like the men's garden club sale, but also to Pioneer Garden and Feed to buy stuff that's already been grown.
Taking care.
So I can
From a
look at a
plant.
tomato plant that I can just take out of the little cup in the flats and put it in the ground that I was not able to grow myself with
Yeah,
seeds inside. Now, other
absolutely.
people can, but I did not have a lot of luck with that. And every year you go through the process of taking that whole area outside your store and making it into a flower and vegetable market,
Yep.
right? Tell us how that happens.
So very early spring, all the stands start coming out. Like you'll see now when you drive by the building, it doesn't, there's really nothing on the side. All of the stands start coming out. And then this year, I don't know if you've been back there, but the trees were cut down on the side. So, 'cause
Those
when
trees
they
that
were-
are hanging on the picture?
The trees that are on the side, yeah. That's part of the work at Cortese Park.
Okay.
There were some power
That's right, I
lines
do
and stuff,
remember that,
so
yeah.
they buried them. So we've lost those trees now. That was the shade for the
Oh, that's right,
for the
yeah.
parking lot. But what we're going to do, what we already have in place, is we're going to build structures for shade
Okay.
for the plants. So I think ultimately, actually, we'll have more room for more plants. So it's a good. So that's
Is that on
fine.
your property or is that on the park property behind you?
The trees were
Yeah.
on village property.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were very kind. Actually, they came
Yeah.
and told us right after we bought the store, oh, we're going to take down the trees. We're like, no, wait a minute. Yes. So now it's fine. They waited till
Yeah.
our season was over.
But that's the time when Tony earns his keep, right?
Yes, exactly. That's when we are there from morning till night taking care of all the babies.
And you. But I know I
me.
see Tony out there.
Yes, constantly, because the deliveries will come at, 5,
2 in the morning,
4 in the
3,
morning,
yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
the trucks come.
Yeah.
But what's special about Pioneer, and now especially, I've always known this, but now owning it, I know how much care is taken with the plants.
Okay.
They really are well, because of Bill,
Yeah.
and because of the knowledge there. Because if you go to other stores, you'll see that people are just out there with a hose just spraying everything down. We don't do that because most plants don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't want to be watered
Some need to
from
be
above.
dried, right.
They want to be drier. They want to be watered from their roots. So we go around to every single.
Did you know that before you bought it?
I knew that they were well cared for, but now seeing
Now
it
you
in
know how.
action, now I
Yeah.
really understand how.
Yeah.
How it's done.
And we talked a lot about vegetables, but an enormous selection of flower
flowers.
plants, annuals, perennials.
Certainly, yeah. Those are pansies, which you can eat. You can put them in salads. They're so pretty, aren't
Really?
they? And those actually.
Not the flowers, the
The
leaves.
flowers. The
Really?
flowers. They're edible flowers, which
Don't
people
chew
should
flowers?
put.
I'll let
yeah.
you try it.
Yeah. I always tell people they should
I
put
trust you,
edible
but I'm gonna let
flowers
you-
in their gardens
You
because
go
it
to
looks
fancy
pretty.
restaurants and you find them and you.
Oh, you gotta pay a big
down.
money for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just
Yeah.
go to Pioneer and buy your own and
Yeah.
plant them.
You can eat pansies.
You can eat pansies. And
Yeah.
what's nice about putting edible flowers in your vegetable garden is it helps the bees come.
Yes,
We
yeah.
need bees for pollination.
Yeah.
It looks pretty. And then while you're out there picking your herbs or whatever, you pick a couple flowers and put on the plate.
That's great. And
Yeah.
I know for a while I was with the Pride Commission here in town, and the Pride Commission goes around and puts planters, like they have them at the Rotary Clock over at the Illinois Prairie Path and some of the businesses in town, and then on the corners there's big planters. And Jeannie Nicholson is the one that goes around and puts the
Takes
flowers
To
and plants.
pick up the water. Pick
Yeah,
up
water.
garbage.
She's always concerned about the water.
On the Prairie
But
Path, yes.
we would come to Pioneer Feed all the time to get advice and to buy the flowers to put in those planters. And Bill was always helpful, and now you guys are always helpful in, hey, this is not good in the sun.
Right.
Because all of those planters are really in, pretty
Direct
hard
sun.
direct sun. And that type of information you don't get when you go to a big box store
No,
and pick
right.
up a flat and say, I'm going to plant these.
And you know what? That's actually one of the biggest hard parts it is for people when they're gardening and learning to garden is what plant goes where.
Good, that's
And you
right.
can try as much as you want to grow a sunflower in the shade, but it's just not going to happen. You
Yeah.
know, so we try and guide people as much as they want. You know, of course, we're going to leave you alone if you don't want to hear about
Yeah.
it, but.
If you're the expert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but people come constantly and ask, what would be better in the shade? What would be better in the sun? And we can help make those decisions.
Yeah. So here we are. We've got the planting figured out. We know we're going to plant our seeds sometime
Coming up.
outside. And now just plant them outside in May.
Yep.
We'll have a great season, and we'll be harvesting things. Still in the summer months, we're going to need plant food. We're going to need, if you want to, pesticides that need to be out there.
Fertilizers.
And also varmint control, okay? And I know you've got some help with that. And that doesn't necessarily mean destroying the animal. That
No, of
means
course not.
preventing them from being in your garden.
Right.
Okay,
right.
so tell us about some of the things that you've got for that.
So the most popular thing that we have is urine, fox
Yeah.
urine and
Yeah.
coyote urine. Who knew that I'd have this store full
I've
of
seen that in the store, and it's like,
manure and
Bing.
urine
Yeah.
constantly? Yes,
Yeah.
it's all we deal with. A big problem is skunks.
Yeah.
And people come in constantly asking about skunks.
Sure.
Get them out from under my porch.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, get 'em out.
Get them out from under the porch. And so
Yeah.
what we tell people to do, here's a little tip. So we do sell fox urine.
Uh-huh.
That scares skunks, possum stuff because it's a natural predator.
Right.
Like you said, we don't want to hurt the animal. We're
Right.
just trying to keep them away.
Right.
So we have sprays, we have little bottles that you can hang outside. But what I tell people to do is if you can see, you can sometimes see the hole where they're
right,
going
where
under.
they burrowed under.
You spray down an old T-shirt or rag or whatever with the urine. It smells terrible. Just
Yeah,
so you know,
yeah.
when you open up the bottle, it's awful. And then put it up over that hole because they don't want to go. They don't want
They
it
don't
to.
wanna go
They
past
don't
it.
want a predator's urine to be touching them.
Yeah,
They don't want
yeah.
it to be on their fur. So a lot of times you just wait till nighttime when they're out, put that up, and then a lot of times it'll just keep them away.
And I know that those animals, how do I know, but I'm going to guess that those animals believe that there are coyotes.
Oh,
in Fox,
absolutely.
because there are in our town.
There are, for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
and some people have even taken pictures on Ardmore recently of deer in
Yes.
their yards. I don't know if
We
you
had
saw
deer
those
on Bill
photos.
Avenue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had on Southville Avenue. We had deer.
right.
We have a lot of customers that
Yes,
come in that
yeah.
have deer.
Yeah, yeah, and again, you don't want to hurt the animal. In fact, some of the things that people think about as well, I'll put one of these cages out, and I'll go trap them, and then I'll take them to a forest preserve.
Legally, you can't do that.
You can't do that. I mean, you can call a person, and we've got people in town that can do that for you. They'll set a cage trap
Correct.
and humanely trap the animal, and then take it to wherever it's supposed to go. And I'll remind you that not long ago at Twin Lakes, someone who had a pet red-tailed boa constrictor, 8 feet long, left it in the park.
Wonderful.
So people are doing silly things too.
Right, right, right.
But that animal was trapped actually by our Parks Department and taken via a person licensed to do so. So please don't trap animals on your
No,
property.
no,
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, we encourage you to just try and repel the animals,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of different products. in
Send
the
them to your
store.
neighbor's yard.
Yeah, I know, right, right. We have a lot of repellents.
Yeah. Well, then all of a sudden we get into the fall season, and your whole store changes
Yeah.
again, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So what happens in the fall? What do you have
So
for product?
lots and lots of pumpkins,
Yeah.
fall flowers. A lot of the flowers, like the pansies that you showed before, you can grow those early spring. You can grow those in the fall into winter too. They don't like the heat of summer,
Yeah.
so we bring back out all those plants that like the cool weather.
The marigolds, things like that.
Mums,
Yeah.
and then lots
I'm
of
sorry, mums, yes.
yeah, lots of decorative ornamental corn and things like that everyone looks for
Yeah.
in the fall. Yeah, and then it's garden cleanup time too.
Okay.
So we can kind of help people. We say that you put your garden to bed,
Right.
and help with the process of doing that.
Well, Bob, that we talked about earlier, Wendorf, talked about he has a lot of hostas, and they're big leaves,
Yes.
and it's a lot of organic material. Okay, and you could bag it up and put it in the brown bags and put it out front with the leaves, or you can do some of the composting things.
Correct.
And there you've got other options for people as well in terms of composting material that they get from their garden, whether
Right.
it's lawn clippings or leaves or
Right.
others, like
Right.
plant stuff, right? Tell
I
us about
started
that.
composting several years ago in my own yard, and I can't imagine not doing
Yeah.
it now. It's amazing the amount of material that
Goes in
goes
that pile,
in there
that
that
pile.
is not out at the curb.
Right.
And then also where we live, we have a really long, in Villa Park, we have these long, long yards.
Right.
Well, in the back of our yard, there's some trees, and so I actually just have a pile in the back that I throw dead. I have a big hosta collection
Right.
too. Bob and I are friends about that.
Okay.
That it just, it just composts down into the ground. And then I
Right.
actually have a compost bin in the back where I put kitchen, old banana peels, that
Right.
sort of thing.
Organic material that will
coffee
compost.
Organic materials,
Yeah.
coffee grounds,
Coffee
paper
ground, yeah.
towels, anything that's once was a plant basically can be composted.
Right.
And so we teach people about that. We do have bins. We have compost activator, it's called, that helps the process move along a little bit quicker.
And that's important because you just mentioned sometimes people put things other than leafy products in
Right.
there.
So don't
And
put
it could
meat.
be an odor
Yes.
emanator.
Exactly.
Okay, and then that bothers your neighbors and everybody else, and
Right.
you don't want that. Plus,
No.
it doesn't compost properly.
No, yeah, that's the biggest thing, is to avoid any kind of meat products, oil, anything that can get
Yeah.
rancid.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would attract pests that we're trying to repel.
Okay. And I skipped over one other thing that's popular too, or should be more popular, and that is drain water containers, downspout containers.
Right.
And the whole idea is to reuse the water on your property for watering your lawn or your garden, right? So what do you have there?
We have lots of barrels available. Actually, we work with this really cool company that remakes old food, like olives and stuff that are shipped over from Greece.
Oh, okay.
They use
Like the
those
wood
to
ones?
make, no, plastic.
Okay.
They're like a PVC
Okay.
hard plastic. They use those to make the water barrels. So we have several different ones to choose from. Lots of people come in to buy them, which is great to
Yeah.
see, because that's such a wonderful resource.
Right.
And the plants like rainwater better than water from our tap because
Right.
it doesn't have the chemicals and
You
stuff.
don't have no Jack Daniels barrels?
No, I wish.
Spike up the garden a little bit.
Yeah, you smelled good.
Yeah, I bet you it does. But that's an environmental thing, which is great. We talked about organic things and pesticides. Let's talk about that
Sure.
in terms of controlling insects and on plants and things like that. Some people shun. You can never use a pesticide, but there are ways to do that, right?
Right.
Without damaging
Without
the world.
spraying everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a whole variety of products depending on what you want. There are people that truly just want organic products,
Right.
and that's wonderful.
Right.
There are some people that come in that could care less, and they'll spray anything.
Right.
And so what I've learned, so I, to the best of my ability, try and have everything in my yard organic. What I've learned is that there's some plants that just need, like if you have fruit trees in Illinois, basically they're going to need to be sprayed.
Right.
What I've learned in talking to Bill about this is that what we try and do is make people as responsible about this stuff. There's people that come in, they're like, well, I have ants in my house, I'm going to pour gasoline on it. We're like, no,
Yeah.
we try to always get people to use the least amount of chemicals
And at the right time.
and at
the
the
right
time.
way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you just go around spraying everything, it doesn't actually do what you're wanting to do, and then
Right.
it's hurting the environment.
Right,
So
right.
there are things, and the thing about using organic things versus chemical compounds is organics take longer. So sometimes people think it's not working.
Yeah.
So we try and tell them,
Too eager.
just be a little patient. It's okay. It'll work. It might just take a little bit longer.
Yeah. I have gone through, like everybody with a yard at home, I've gone through the ant problems, I've gone through the skunk problems, I've gone through the, not the groundhogs, but whatever the ones that dig up your yard and burrow underneath. They were under my porch, may have been groundhogs.
Groundhogs, yeah, they're very destructive.
And they're beautiful
in the
ants.
garden.
They're beautiful
Yeah, they
ants.
are.
The
Yep.
big males are
Yep.
colorful and all of that, but you look and they got holes,
But
and they're
they
actually
can
underneath the porch.
decimate a garden in a night. Yeah.
Yes. And the rabbits is always the cartoon version of the
Yeah.
animal that will destroy your garden. There's
Yeah.
a lot of things out there that
Yes,
that'll
that
help
want
you
to
get
destroy-
rid of it. But I enjoy gardening a lot, and a lot of people do. How do people get more information about these tips that you're talking about? You're starting to run some classes, right?
Yes, we're going to start running some classes. They've never had classes in the store. For anyone that's been in Pioneer, it's a small store,
Yeah.
but we're working toward getting some areas set aside so that we can do some classes, some
Yeah.
fun stuff. We're going to, at the end of February 27th, it's a Saturday, we're going to do a couple, just little quick 15, 20-minute demonstrations throughout the day to get people getting started on growing
Right.
their seeds. So we'll just have an area kind of set up to the side, and Bill will be there and can kind of coach you through. Because growing
Great.
seeds is a wonderful
Yeah.
way to do it.
It's
It
a
does
family
take-
event, too.
It's a family event, and
Yeah.
there's lots and lots of kids that come into the store. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to do some fairy gardening classes. We're going to do some water plant. All
What'd you
these
say,
things.
fairy gardening?
Fairy gardening. Yes,
Tell me about
fairy
that.
gardening is a very popular, very popular for kids, but also for adults. Plenty of people come in and buy a lot of fairy garden stuff for their own. People
It's-
have
I don't know
these
what that is.
it's so there's fairies
never used
in your
that.
yes, there's fairies in your garden, little tiny fairies.
Yes.
Okay.
And then people build these
Now, is that
just
proper to talk about
elaborate.
fairies today?
Yeah, no, like little fairies with wings, fairies,
Okay.
and gnomes, and all these little tiny creatures
I know
that
Park District did an event
No.
like this.
live
too.
in your
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah.
And so we have houses and pathways and bridges
awesome.
and tables and chairs and
All
stuff.
the little girls love it. right?
Yes, and
Yes.
and
The little
lots
boys, too.
and
That's
little
good.
boys and lots of adults. Lots
Yeah.
of adults like fairy gardening. So so we're gonna do some classes for that. So we're hoping to do some of that stuff throughout the year.
Okay.
So I attended, there's another grower, a significant grower in town, I know you know of them, Hauserman Orchids. And they had a class on how to grow orchids once you buy them from them. And they're very inexpensive, just like your store. You can go in and buy a beautiful orchid plant in a nice container for $15. So it's not like a $30 thing. You
Giant,
you
right.
can do that.
Of course, yeah.
And they have, I believe it's 6 acres of growing space.
It's
And they grow
beautiful
from
there.
seed, that they have these special tubes that they grow in. And I sat in a class on how to grow orchids, because I thought they were great, and I've since destroyed them, but I went through the class, and they lasted a long, long time. They reflowered 4 times each, so it was good. I was success. But they had a class one day for a couple of hours, and there were 50 people there.
Oh, yeah?
50 people
Yep.
wanting to know, and a lot of them were experts by themselves, because I could tell from their
Well, they
questions.
ship all over the United States out of there.
Every
They
yeah.
ship out of the, all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love
Out
plants.
of Bill Park.
Well,
yeah.
and Bill, that works with us, he is known throughout Illinois for his garden talks. He
Okay,
goes
good.
to lots of garden clubs and does talks there. So now
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we got to do them in our own store.
Sure,
so
sure.
yeah.
Will there be a fee for the classes, or are
No,
you charging
probably
it?
not. No,
Okay.
not right now. There might be at some point if we actually have them make something,
Mm-hmm.
they would pay for whatever they made. But like for the seed starting and everything, no, just come on in and learn.
Awesome.
And the thing about our store is you can come in anytime
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah, I
always
know.
give you
But
the
the
information.
manufacturers will come out and help you too. Won't they?
The seed providers
The
or the
seed providers
distributors?
and
A lot of the and a
They
lot
will.
of our vendors.
They'll
What
come.
I've learned about working in a garden store is, it's a very loving, friendly. People are like, it's kind of us against the big box, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
but
yeah.
But-
it's people want to help each other.
They wanna help
we have
each
good relationships with other garden centers in the area. Everyone's kind of
Yeah.
always sending each other. Like if we don't have it, we'll send them over there. So that's nice.
The biggest thing is you and Tony and Bill and your family, because you can go into the big box store and buy the plants cheaper.
Of course,
You can buy them cheaper.
yeah.
But for a guy like me, or a lot of 90% of the people in this world, they're not as astute on, hey, that should be in the shade, or like
Right.
a hostas. This one can be in the sun. This one cannot. So put this one underneath the big, leafy hostas above it.
Right. That's why people.
You're never
come.
going to get that information
No.
when you're going through the line at a big box store.
Right. No. It's just not.
Because they're while they're in the garden center, next day they're in the toy department, and next day they're in the grocery department.
Right, yeah,
so
it's
they move
seasonal
around. That's their
help and-
job. It's not their intent to be the experts and the helpful people that you are in
Right.
terms of knowledge.
We are passionate about
Right.
it. We care, and we want people to enjoy their
that's
gardens,
right.
feed their children healthy
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
take care of their birds. We're excited about that.
It's been years that we're trying to keep the small businesses in town.
Yeah.
And we're having a hard time keeping the small businesses in town. Why would you buy a small business in Bill Park? No, truthfully, why would you?
A lot of people have asked us that. Because it's Pioneer, because it's been there
Okay,
since 1918,
Yeah.
because it's so beloved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people comment. There was a woman not too long. So we were, like I said, we bought it right in a very, very busy time, and so it was overwhelming.
But it took you a couple of years to make the decision.
It did. It took.
So-
It took some time. It takes
That's
time
right.
to buy a business.
There's people out there, oh, geez, I'm out of a job again. I can't find a job. I can't do this. I say, well, buy a business. Well, I'm not fit to buy a business. Well, why did you buy it? That's what I'm asking.
So we're kind of we have entrepreneurial spirits. My
That's
husband
right,
and I
you
both
do.
do.
You must, because you bought one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do this. We both are in the video industry, and it's changing, and we kind of wanted to get out of it. And so we've looked at this as such a good opportunity. And we were customers there. That's the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we
Well,
you
always
knew the
shopped
business,
at
yeah.
Pioneer. We knew the business. But what struck me about being there now is how much people love it there. They shop there with their grandpa. There was a woman that came in not too long after we bought it, and she was in tears. She was so grateful that we bought it, that
Yeah.
it's still going to be there, that it's
Right.
not going to go away.
Yeah, you don't want that to leave.
You
don't want
know,
that to leave.
that people really, it's really,
But she has a big back store half a mile away, but she still come to you.
yep.
They all want to come back.
But
It's a
you're,
special
you're
place.
touching on something. Dennis is pretty active in a group of Northern Illinois University think tank over on Deal Road in
Yeah.
Naperville.
Oh, okay.
And we go.
They're these
I do
startups.
consulting over there, and we do other consulting for small businesses. People like you. Why should I start a business? Well, it's up to you if you want to start a business now. Well, where do I find money? Where's it? It's out there. It's available.
It is out there. We decided to do it. We love Pioneer. We were excited for the opportunity. We were also really excited about being so close to home.
Yeah,
We have young children.
Middle Park resident.
We
Right.
wanted
Right.
to be able to get to work quickly, and then be able to go to the scout meeting or the, that's very important to us.
So you want to
And
go back to family.
exactly.
Spend more time with family.
We're very excited about the business. We're also very excited about our family being a part of that. And that's why kind of we wanted to do it. But what I'll say about the small businesses, so there was a group that was very instrumental in helping us do it, a small business group out of DuPage, out of the College of DuPage. They were very helpful. There's lots of free information.
Well, SCORE's out there.
And SCORE has
SCORE's
been really
out there.
helpful.
They've
They're
been-
like,
have been
send me your
involved.
numbers, and there's a guy that we've been working with.
See,
So they'll do
let me
that
interrupt
for
you because
free.
that's important. And that's what I wanted to get to. The emotional thing is good. It's important to your ongoing success.
Of course.
But Shark Tank, the TV program mentality. What's the plan?
Right.
The
right.
plan, as
and
you
so
talk about, is
that
most
group,
important.
like SCORE and these
SCORE-
type of group, they help.
SCORE's
We had to have a
retired-
business
for
plan.
People
Right.
don't know, SCORE's a retired businessman
Okay.
who help small businesses start up
Right,
again.
right.
They've been around part of the Social Security, they're part of the federal government.
Yeah.
They get funding from them.
Right.
But nobody gets paid there. They're all volunteers.
Right.
You have SCORE, you have DuPage County, you got Rev 3. You have all kinds of help out there. College of DuPage has got a course. I used to be at Triton College with SCORE.
Yeah.
And they're all over. People just don't know about them.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and then we found out about it, and they've been a wealth of information.
Right.
And the banks will give small business loans because they want small businesses
They
to
want them to come back,
succeed.
yeah.
So the money is there,
The
the
money is there,
information is
yeah.
there. You just have to kind of search it out.
Yeah.
But you probably, when you went to the small banks and you went to SCORE, had a plan. Which, a lot of people, including myself when I attempted to start a business, looked at it from a budget list of here's the things I need, here's the money I have. I should be able to last for a while.
Yeah, no.
And
Yeah.
bam, you're out of
Right.
there.
You're out
Right.
of there because of the fact you don't think, I got money coming in as soon as I open the door. Well, you don't have money coming in as soon as you open the door.
Yeah.
You got money going out.
Right, right.
And a lot of work.
And let's go back to the village. Does the village help you at all?
The village has been very helpful with the front of our, it's a TIF district now, we were talking about Old Town Villa Avenue.
And we explain every acronym. Tax increment finance.
increment financing.
What does
And
that
so they gave help to all the businesses along Villa to help with any facade improvements. And so if you've been by the store lately, you'll probably notice we put new windows in, painted the front of the building, and put a new sign up, and then got new siding and gutters. And the village, chipped in for that. So that was wonderful. And so it was funny though while it was happening, because like I was saying, Pioneer has been there so long. Yeah, there's the front of the building, so you can see.
Right.
We were very careful to not change it too much, because people
Why
don't
they-
like change.
No, they
And
don't.
you actually found something underneath some material on the front
Yes,
end,
yeah.
right?
Under the siding, there's paint on the original wood of the building that said, because they, I guess, sold paint there at one point, and
Okay.
it said paint and like some other things.
In big letters, yeah.
With the
In
hardware
big
store.
letters under the
hardware,
siding. Yeah, so like more hardware
Yeah.
stores. So that was neat to find. But so, we weren't planning on necessarily doing that right away, but we're like, well, if the village is going to help us
It'll
with
help,
it, and it's
yeah.
been nice. And the windows were bad. Like there were things
Yeah.
in the front of the building that really needed to be done. So it was good to be able to get
Well,
that
it's a
done.
90-year-old business, 95-year-old
Almost,
business.
yeah, almost 100 years.
Yeah.
So
what are you going to do with the 100 years? What's the
we'll
plan?
do some sort of celebration.
Yeah,
We'll
90% off?
Yeah.
100%
Maybe not 90%
100%
off.
off.
Yeah, 100%
Yeah.
off. No, we'll definitely make a big deal about it when it's
Yeah.
the 100-year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good. Well, the 100-year celebration that we had here in Villa Park was a great success, I think, and it was right in your backyard.
Yep.
And that was pretty close to the time when you were about to buy the business, right? You were
Yep.
in that process.
In the process.
So behind you is Cortese Park that is going to be rededicated, I think, Memorial Day
weekend.
through the VFW in the village. And I know that in that space behind you, there's a lot of opportunity for you. You kind of go back to the Cortese Loop, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that your
yeah.
property?
Our property is back to the street.
Okay, okay. So as the spring and summer, people are going to be able to come into that park and just walk to your store right from where they park there. Because there'll be a lot of events going on in Cortese Park going forward because of the success of the park and the rejuvenation they've done of the park. Not just the memorial, but the building, the green building that was the storage for the train system that was there. The greenhouse, though, that was next to it for the men's garden club has been removed, but it's planned to be a community garden on the north side.
Right.
Do you know any details about that?
I know a little bit about that. Yes, they're planning on putting that greenhouse. They're putting a new community garden up on the north side, like you said, by the tracks. And then the greenhouse is going to go over there, so people have the opportunity.
Excellent. So it gets the
to have
use
like
that
community
intended.
plots.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to a garden this year. I'm looking forward to seeing how many more birds are going to be coming out to that plant feeder and whether the squirrels will figure it out. But I don't think they will because I think they're frustrated. And that's good.
And I do have to say one thing about the seed.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, I counted how many pounds of seed we ordered a week, because I'm like, how much do we actually go through? I knew monetarily what we were spending, but and then my husband and Tony unloads it all off the truck,
so
off
he
the
might
forklift. Yeah, it was over 10,000 pounds. We go through that much of it about a week.
A week?
At Pioneer,
yeah. And we're talking what, bird seed?
Bird seed, yeah. Isn't that crazy? I know, you don't have
No wonder we get so many birds.
I know. I had no idea when we bought the store. I knew that it was a good part of the business. I had no idea standing there every day how much birdseed people buy.
That's
it's
crazy.
Incredible. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's cool.
Yeah,
people
it's great.
love their birds and their squirrels and all that stuff. So.
And I've come in there for cracked corn that I give
with your grandkids.
Yes,
yeah.
they love it. They love it. Giving it to the ducks and the geese.
Rabbits, ducks, all of it. We can feed everybody.
Yeah, and that's great because a lot of people think, well, I'll just take some white bread out there and throw it out there for the ducks, and that's bad. You don't want to do that.
It's not healthy for yeah, it's not. It's like us eating cake. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll sustain you, but it's not.
Pretty soon they won't be able to fly away.
Not the healthiest option, right?
Yeah, yeah. But it's interesting how many different things Pioneer Garden and Feed is involved in. Have we missed anything that's important? We talked about the repellents for the gardens. We talked about the seeds. We talked about the honey that you've got there that's kind of new. You've got all kinds of garden, we talked about the fairy gardens, but you've got all kinds of garden art.
Statues,
that's all over
bird
the store.
baths.
Yes.
Yeah, all
Feeders
of it.
and baths and feed itself, including all kinds of birds.
Anything you need for your
We won't
yard.
say all of the birds, but
a lot of
anything
birds.
you need for your yard.
Anything you need for your yard. Also, a lot of really good advice on lawns.
Yeah.
Yes.
People come in a lot asking, and Bill, and now us, we're really good about helping you with your lawn, which a lot of people want questions.
Is there anything on the wish list that you say, you know, what they should have here and never have had?
At Pioneer?
Yeah, Pioneer. Anything that you're saying, you know, one of the things that I want to put in the store.
What have they missed?
I know, so I can't even think because there's so much there at the store. Oh, a lot of people do ask about sod.
Yeah.
You know what? There's nowhere to put it.
Right.
Well, you don't have to put it. If you take orders for it, they'll drop it off.
I guess, yeah. We might
You
have to
know,
look into
there's
sod.
side farms around, and if you go into the side farm some places, they take your order and they'll ship it to you. So you could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also don't do trees or shrubs because they're big. That's the thing.
Take a lot of
is
Well, you
space.
could
they
have,
take
you
a
could
lot
have
of
a small
space.
center in the
So
store.
we have to figure out, and now that we'll
you know.
kind of be reconfiguring, like I was saying with the shade structures,
Yeah.
there might be some more, there will definitely be more room for more plants.
We're buying kitchen cabinets right now, and we go to the Menards or we go someplace. We sit down, and they give us a design of what kind of cabinets. You could do the same thing with trees. You could do the same thing with side. Small corner in the store. And
All right.
income.
Yeah.
Angie, we've given you a task list,
Yes, I know. All right.
which is
Get to
exactly
work.
what you came here for.
Exactly.
You got 1 minute.
Yeah, we're going to close it up here. We've been talking with Angie Rojek, who is the one of the owners of Pioneer Garden and Feed, a business that was started in 1918 on Villa Avenue. What's the address, Angie?
118 South Villa,
And the phone number?
630-832-0815.
And the Villa Park website? Website.
PioneerGardenandFeed.com.
Okay.
Yep, we're also on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
How about hours change throughout the year, but what are they in the winter and then in the spring?
Sure. In the spring, we're just there all the time, it seems like.
Yeah.
But the official hours are 9 to 7 during the week, 9 to 5 on Saturdays, and 10 to 4 on Sundays. Just during the winter, it's just one less hour, basically, 9 to
Okay.
6 during the week.
Okay.
We're
Great.
there 360 days a year. There's 5 days a year that Pioneer is closed.
What, do you take like a vacation?
Yeah.
That's a 1 week vacation, half a week.
No,
I
like
guess.
one day, Christmas, New Year's,
Ah,
Easter,
one
but
day at a
everyone
time.
wants to feed their birds every other day, so we're always there.
Well, it's been great having you as a guest,
Thank
and
you.
Bill is a great help, and Tony, of course, has been a good friend
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But in the future, when you have time and you want to put some of this information on our channel, we are open to give you time
Sure.
for education on products or anything you'd like.
Absolutely.
We're here, and I know you know the business, and you know what we can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's been a great time talking with my co-host, Dennis.
Yeah, thanks to both of you.
Sid Bergs, nice.
Sid, be
We
well.
miss you, and I hope you get better soon.
Yeah, be well, Sid. And you've been watching Uptown Villa Park, and we will see you next time.